Nshaya MP there, Stephen Amoa speaking to us. Now joining us is political marketing strategist, senior lecturer, the University of Ghana Business School, Dr. Kobe Mensah, for some analysis on all that transpired yesterday. Thank you, Doc, for joining us. So, safe to say that we did not see a usually fiery Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, usually jab-happy, and all the body language that usually comes with the personality Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. What did that communicate?
All right, thank you. The evidence of what he communicated yesterday is actually practically being felt by everybody. So there are times where you could actually use communication to paint a picture. That is when perhaps you are not in the position of authority. You're actually promising people what you can do, which he did excellently well during the time that they were looking for power, especially in 2016. Now, it is difficult for you to do that again because obviously you are in control. Obviously, you have access to all the necessary tools that you need to use. And so when you're in that position and people are not experiencing what you have said before, now, it is difficult for you to actually juxtapose the practice on the expectations of people and be able to tell them that indeed they're feeling it. It is very, very difficult. And we saw that difficulty yesterday in his speech or in his lecture. The usual Bawumia would be very relaxed. He would tap into jokes, obviously, because he has the mastery over that particular language. But yesterday we saw a completely different, a vice president. I mean, he was trying to push his argument, but himself realized that it was difficult to do that. And you could see it in his body language. You could see it in his tone and pace. You could even gauge that from the audience because there were times that you'd expect the usual hailing, the usual responses to Bawumia's lines. And it was difficult for the audience to even clap at some point or applaud at some point when he made some claims.
Okay.
So, I think that, it was very difficult lecture for him.
Some have said that it may also be the case that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the personality, is attempting a rebrand to feed into the narrative of his presidential ambitions, for example. Is this something that you think is not feasible?
I don't think so. I mean, you could see towards the end of the lecture that he was trying to bring back those lines, those jabs, those sloganeering he was trying to bring back, and they couldn't connect. I mean, the economic message was at the early part of his speech. I monitored the entire speech. Now, when he was talking about the fundamentals, even of agriculture, etc., you could find that you could see that he was in pains trying to draw a very inspirational picture, a very lively picture. Now, he only started getting into his old, when he was talking about the digitization, which was at the latter end of the speech. Now, that is not for someone who wanted to rebrand. If he wanted to rebrand, that could communicate throughout the entire, lecture, the entire speech. But you realize that the first part of the speech was a difficult one. Only towards the latter part, which was the digitization, where he was saying that people do not get the link between the digitization and the economy, and they make argument that he has left the economy. That's when he started, sort of finding his comfort zone. But from the beginning, it was very tough. So I don't think that it's an attempt to rebrand. I think it's a sheer, reality that was actually revealing, to him, and that's why he was finding it difficult in terms of the communication. And it's for all of us. I mean, none of us would feel comfortable if the reality is different from the narrative. In saying it. We all find ourselves in such circumstances. But I thought that he could have been forthright to let people understand instead of trying to paint a picture that didn't exist.